The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Welcome into a Friday episode of the Bostonian versus the Book, Day 2, live from Redtail inside Resorts World, where we are here watching the second day of the madness. We have a speaker here today, so if you guys want to come on by and hang out with us, you can listen to us today. He is Dave Sharapan. I am Matt Perrault. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book, the same on X and Twitter, and replayed on Sports Grid Television and on Sirius XM channel 159. We get to start the show with our own version of Bracket Madness because you asked at the top of the show yesterday for the Brigade to pull out a 16 versus 1 upset.
Yes.
In a made man bracket of people in Las Vegas.
All over the world.
All over the internet.
Yeah.
And you were getting trounced until you asked.
Yeah.
And when you asked, they responded, and you beat Jeffrey Benson. What is Benson going to say when he sees you?
I don't know. I'm probably going to see him later. He hasn't texted me yet. I haven't texted him yet, but he did reply on the Twitter. Jeffrey, he said he's getting cooked. And he did get cooked. He lost. And it looks like my next matchup is Derek Stevens.
It is.
I mean, that's going to, So
he took
that's
Stormy,
a hell of a parlay.
He beat Stormy?
No, Taylor.
Taylor Mathis.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yep.
He beat Taylor Mathis.
Yep.
So now you two move on. Taylor Mathis is a made person. Interesting. So we go from that to you. So then we go into that argument.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying,
now?
like,
What are you saying?
I tend to think made is sort of a
different thing.
Made.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it said made woman. Like
Woman.
made men.
Okay.
And they put the woman in front.
Okay.
Taylor lost. Derek won. So now we got a big matchup there.
A 16 versus 8? That's what this is?
Yes.
For the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
16 versus 8.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So if you guys are on the Twitter, you guys can go check out
it back up
at Sports BK Consig. The guy who's running it is now following our at Boston versus the Book account. So now we can actually
we're gonna have him on most likely. HBK bets and all that stuff. I met Corby, another internet guy who's appearing in these spaces.
Okay.
We're gonna have to go on, I think, at some point and represent the show on the spaces. I don't know what's going on.
On which spaces?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's now spaces getting off of spaces.
Oh, okay.
Spin-offs.
Okay.
I have no idea what's going on.
It is an interesting.
I just know they tagged me and somehow I got involved and somehow the boys came through. Beautiful. You guys tweeted it. We won it. So now we move on. Unfortunately, Robert Morris does not.
No, they do not.
Man.
We have a final with Alabama. They do survive. They were actually losing at one point with under 5 minutes to play to Robert Morris, but they do not. They do not come back.
Shouldn't have tweeted it.
Do not win the game, rather. Alabama comes back, but they don't cover. So Bama moves on. We see the first kind of upset. Baylor wins today over Mississippi State. I'm not sure who's having a worse March Madness through day number, halfway or quarter of the way through day 2, the Mountain West Conference or the SEC. We had thought that the SEC might, because of the number of teams that they have, they might struggle early, and they have struggled early. But the Mountain West is currently hanging their hat on Colorado State to win. And they're down 5 at the break to Memphis. So if they don't win, 1, I'm going to lose a money line play. But 2, that's going to be an 0-4 trip for the Mountain West Conference. And it's another question that folks are going to bring up come Selection Sunday is why are they getting 3, 4, and 5 teams into the dance consistently when the Mountain West Conference, when they go and play in these 8-9 games or maybe 7-10 games, they are consistently losing. They are not impressing anyone with their performance in March. And I'm not saying the tournament is the end-all, be-all.
No.
But But if you're going to give these teams, these conferences, multiple bids, and you're going to leave out teams like a West Virginia and Indiana, you're going to leave out these programs that are from power conferences. This is the argument towards expansion. Like, this is the argument saying, well, if you guys keep on putting in these Mountain West teams, we need more of the other teams that are being left out.
Do we?
No, we don't, but that's the argument, to say that they need to be in this bracket, because we get the chance to kind of not be as upset about the Mountain West going 0-4 if that's what happens.
We had Ollie Perrault Manesh on Monday, right?
Yep.
And he spoke about a little bit about the Mountain West and the conference, specifically his team, but just in general.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of people. The noise is getting louder because the gambling space is so big, and it is an echo chamber,
right,
where you hear it and then it becomes a thing because more people say it. Now, they're favored. I mean, the steam came, that thing closed one. So
came on Memphis.
Yeah. So I think bettors didn't believe it, waited, and then, came with the Memphis money line. I don't know. I mean, again, we were in Nashville last week. It was a great week. We had the show, and we were there. We saw it. Not a good day for the SEC, other than Arkansas.
Yeah,
Arkansas had a good day.
That's a big win.
That was a big win.
You knock out the preseason #1 team in the country.
Yeah.
But that was a predictable. I mean, I picked it. Everyone picked it. I'm not saying that was.
And that was the dog, I think, that a lot of people had. Favorites went 9-7 yesterday
which is
against
good.
the spread. Totals went 7 overs, 9 unders. So
how about first half?
I didn't look.
Okay.
I didn't look. We can look at if you guys see it in the chat. Put it in the chat. If you guys are watching the show, again, thank you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell someone about the show. People are walking. I mean, there's people over at Mulberry Street Pizza.
Yep.
Right here in in the district area of Resorts World, going, who are those two guys and what the hell does BVB mean? We got the table draped. We both have the hats on today.
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, so if you guys are in town, you want to come on by, they got a lot of stuff happening here at Red Tail. It's a $75 minimum, but that's food and beverage. You're going to spend that anyway if you're going to hang out and watch and have a couple of drinks and some food. So
yes,
not like it's going to be breaking your bank, but the typical thing here in town, and you get to watch all the games with comfortable chairs. Sometimes you can sit, if you get the access to it, you can sit on the couch and hang out. So the boy bands have arrived. They were here yesterday. They're here today. So they're all hanging out. You're going to hear some yelling and screaming. You've participated in a boy band bet.
I did.
St. Mary's in North Carolina.
Yes.
1st to 15 money parlay.
For the boys, we're going to do this. We got to slip. The 1st to 15 bet is electric. The book, it's fun. I mean,
it is.
I caught up with the guys yesterday later and ran into Paulie, the producer. He had Omaha. 1st to 15.
Oh, wow.
Plus 250.
Nice.
And
got it.
When it was, so they're leading. And then it was 12-10. They missed a shot. St. John's missed a shot.
Yeah.
And then they got the ball back, and you wanted them to get a 3. They got a 2.
Uh-oh.
So it was 14-10. The sweat is real.
Yep.
St. John's goes down and gets 2. So it's 14-12. Now they can beat them with a 3, and they missed the shot. Omaha got it. He's like, dinner's paid for,
Beautiful.
plus 250. So we parlayed St. Mary's in North Carolina. They're both favorites, and it wasn't small. I mean, they're small favorites. The parlay a 2-game parlay pays plus 192. So that's what we're riding with. Keep an eye on it for me in the chat because we got the screens behind us. We're looking out at the crowd.
So it's a 12:20 and 105 start for those.
Yeah, so we'll know the St. Mary's one first.
Yeah.
First hour. North Carolina as we get closer to the end of the show. Maybe we'll get that in there. We'll see.
Francisco is here. So
he is.
And he's in the chat.
Representing.
So he just said he used the kiosk for a moneyline parlay of Maryland, St. Mary's, and Kentucky.
Okay.
He wants to know which one burns him.
Maryland's winning.
I agreed.
Kentucky's winning.
Oh, really? Okay. That's the one I would say I'd be.
You think Kentucky's susceptible to lose to Troy today?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I don't think they will, but I think of all the three.
Are they not healthy? Like, are they something wrong?
It's just what Kentucky has done in the tournament. when they play against these teams that
they got grown men. I don't think they're losing today.
It's their Super Bowl. I get concerned about it. It's just Kentucky. They think the ball rolls out and they win these games, and Troy's going to come out. I mean, this is a team that everybody who plays at Troy dreams of playing in the SEC, and either they couldn't qualify academically, or they couldn't, or they weren't recruited. Like, this is Drake against Missouri yesterday, and we saw what happened in that game yesterday. Now, Kentucky's better than.
How big was that for them?
I mean,
like for Drake, just in general.
Program
I know, right? It's huge, right?
Program changing. It's to win a game against Missouri in the Midwest. Now, the problem is you're going to lose Ben McCollum, so it's bigger for Ben McCollum than it is for Drake, because he's going to be able to say, I won the first game for Drake in the tournament since 1971. So, I mean, Drake has made the dance. They just never win. They won the game outright. They didn't just cover the 6.5. They won the game outright. So that is controlled the whole thing.
I was going to say it was. I don't want to say it was never in doubt, but it was never in doubt.
Not really. I mean,
it really. They clearly won that game.
Yeah, it was a amazing. And look, the guy who ran in. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the brigade member who lives in Des Moines, who said Bennett Sturts is going to become a cult folk hero. If they win the next game, you're right. I mean, if Drake gets to the Sweet 16,
7-point dogs at Texas Tech.
Hey, there were 6.5-point dogs to Missouri. They already beat one team out of the SEC. Why not beat the team out of the Big 12? So it's not impossible. Tech plays a very similar style to Drake. It's not a bad matchup for them. So it's not like they're playing in Alabama or, a high-flying, up-tempo team. They're going to play a team that's going to grind it right there with them. So I love Drake's chances to advance to the Sweet 16. And while I don't think they'll win, I think they'll cover. They'll be right there.
As far as what else happened yesterday, I mean, Houston in a blowout.
Well, Clemson's the story. Clemson's loss is the story.
Is it?
Yeah. Of the tournament, that's the story. The fact that Clemson...
Michigan, UC San Diego was, I think, the best game.
They got completely hosed by the refs.
Man, that was a tough one.
That was the first game in the tournament that the referees had their thumb on the scale, and I couldn't figure out what the hell they were doing with the calls they were making that caused huge swings in that game and huge issues with fouls for San Diego that I thought was absolutely ridiculous. And they still almost won the game. They almost came back because, like I thought was going to happen, number fell 3, by the way. It was 2.5. It closed. It opened at 3.5. Fell right in between. So they got middle if you're on both sides of that.
It's funny because I stopped and did the last man standing contest, and it was 2.5, and I used UC San Diego. So that was one of my entries that lost.
Goodness
I was
gracious.
bummed. I was bummed out. I was like, please, come on. JC from KC. I love that both Kansas and Missouri lost in the first round.
Amen.
Whole state is out.
It's beautiful. It's awesome. I love it. See you later.
Oh, man.
I mean, if you're Kansas today, right? So you're the preseason number 1 team in the country.
Yeah.
You were able to get enough money to keep Hunter Dickinson in uniform. And you go and you get trounced in the Big 12. Like, you just get embarrassed. You lost to the Creighton Blue Jays on the road in Omaha. You lost to so many teams at home at Fog Island. You went to BYU. You were handed the single worst defeat in the history of Kansas basketball to an unranked opponent. They didn't just beat KU. They embarrassed Kansas. And then they go into the dance just leaking oil all over the place. Bill Self created a roster that made no sense, and Bill Self had zero continuity with that team. He lost that team in like January. He never got him back. And for KU to lose that game coming down the stretch to Arkansas, and Calipari, who is not known for having great free throw shooters on his roster historically, hitting free throws for Arkansas to win that game and knock out Kansas, that is an unbelievably bad season for Kansas basketball. And it's in this current era, we talked a lot about the SEC football, right?
Yeah.
And how different it was for the SEC to operate in this new world.
Yeah.
Welcome to the new world for Kansas.
Right.
And they're not ready at the moment.
I was going to say, so now what? Okay, you get 1. Now, how long do you get to fix it? Because you got to go, and it's a new world publicly.
Right.
And go spend that money. Okay. I don't know it's going to change fast. Preseason number one, I don't know. I don't put much stock into those.
Right.
I really don't. But the inability to fix it as we go and then get matched up with Arkansas and look like they were going to get by. They looked like they were going to get by. The end of the game did not go at all as it was supposed
the zone.
to.
I mean, Arkansas couldn't figure out the zone. That was amazing. It was a simple 2-3 zone, and Arkansas looked like they had never seen it before. It was unbelievable to see how poorly they played down the stretch. I mean, my God, just zone up Arkansas. If you're facing them in the tournament the rest of the way, put a zone up. They won't be able to score. But you tell me, this is what I was so angry about. You watch the Creighton Blue Jays, they were a 9 seed. You watch Kansas, they were a 7 seed. Which team looked like the higher seeded?
It's not even close. I don't know.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the eyeball test is just unbelievable. Like, we're going to give so much respect to these teams because of their laundry.
Because of, right.
What with the name on the front of the jersey.
That has to change.
Yeah.
That 100% has to change because I don't want to say the field is leveling, but the top isn't just the top anymore the way it was.
Right. Just because you're Kansas.
By the way, shout out to the big game hunter behind us, by the way. A lot of people were texting me and DMing me about, you guys, can you move that shot over a little bit? No. We cannot. This is where we're set up.
No.
Come by, say hi.
Come play it if you want.
You can play it right behind us if you'd like. Yeah, if you want to get on the show.
Yeah, it sounds like Colorado State's having a tough time with Memphis in the second half right now. So that is not good news for me, but it's really bad news for the Mountain West Conference because they're going to need a run here to take. I didn't see how many of the point guards are playing for Memphis. Is it 1 or 2? And it's Hunter playing. So if he is, that's what Ali talked about. They weren't taking the bait. They weren't going to say, okay, it's a 2-point game. Okay, good. All right, that's good. That's not bad. Down 1. We're all good. 41. What are you going to say?
A lot of time left. Relax.
Okay.
Relax.
Somebody said they need Ali Farouk Magic. And I was like, what do you mean? So I thought they're getting killed, but they're not. They're down 2. They're right there. Okay, we're fine. Just need them to come up with a couple of big shots. So we'll watch that, obviously. North Carolina against Ole Miss. We obviously have them to the 1st to 15. I think they win outright tonight. I have her today. I have them on the money line. I think they beat Ole Miss. I think we continue to see the SEC have problems.
Right.
I think Vanderbilt loses today. I think they go down today. I specifically set this thing up. People did not do that today.
That's all right. Yeah.
so we can avoid that from happening.
You want to get on?
It's fine.
That's fine.
So, there's a storyline, if you will, going through this as which team for the SEC is going to be left standing at the end of it. And if you look at, that pig is just the wee little piggy on the way home 1995 ad that they've brought back. It's great the first time you see it, and then by the 5th time you're like, oh my God.
How about by the 500th time you've seen it?
I'm done.
I feel like there's 4 commercials that they just keep replaying.
I'm done with This Is A. I'm done with the kid. I'm done with everything on this Geico commercial. But it was great when it came back for one time, and now I'm done with it. But, I mean, Alabama, Auburn. If Auburn loses tomorrow to Creighton, I cannot believe they opened that number at 10. I couldn't get 10.
That's the number.
I didn't go fast enough. I grabbed 9.5.
It's fine.
So I cannot believe that they made the Jays a double-digit dog at open. I can't figure that out. That is beyond crazy to me.
Well, you can't. If you open it at 8 or less, it's an auto bet on Auburn.
Why?
Because it's Auburn. I'm just telling
Auburn
you.
Hasn't covered Auburn has not covered a spread in 2 weeks. Auburn is 0-5 over their last 5 games ATS. Why are you giving someone a chance to take a dog price at that big? I can't believe. I jumped on it immediately. I didn't get 10. I got 9.5, and I get why the pros jumped at open to take the points immediately.
Did Creighton look better than maybe people anticipated because they were playing Louisville?
Well, no. I mean, the one player who overperformed, and the only one, is the fact that you don't expect to see a 29, 12, and 5 type game out of a guy who was a role player not a role player, but not the most explosive of scorers for the Jays. You know what Ashworth, and you know what you're going to get with Kalkbrenner. You know that's going to happen. It's the other guys who stepped up and had big games that say, okay, maybe Auburn.
That's the madness, though, right?
Yes.
That's the story.
Right.
That's what happens, and that's how teams elevate their seed, elevate their whatever.
Johnny Perrault,
expectations.
The books we've discussed this on this show quite a bit. Dave has talked about this. The books are not trying to get 50-50 action. They're not trying to get.
Well, no, we just need a bet on the dog.
Yeah.
The first number is for the bet on the dog.
Yeah.
We need to know. But I know if you make it 8 or less, it's an auto bet on Auburn. So the first bet we need to take this week is on the dog.
So you do 10.
You're going to see.
Some books were 10 and a half.
I know that. Well, 10 is the number. I was texting out 10. When they asked me, I said it's 10. They're like, really? I said, yeah, just to get the bet on the dog. Now, you can make it 8 and take a bet on Auburn. It's going to settle right where it's at. 8.5, 9 is where it closes.
Okay.
So, again, I don't know. We've talked about this. If you think the dog can win, you got to take the points.
Right. And then sprinkle money line.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, which I have.
That's where that game is. Now, the rest of the slate tomorrow is just
Beautiful.
fantastic.
Phenomenal spread. Phenomenal game.
McNeese State and Purdue.
McNeese can win the game.
First game out of the gate.
Have you seen their intro yet?
Oh, yeah.
Their intro.
Who doesn't want to be the student manager? Walking out with the boombox. That's the way we walk in to the softball. That's literally the way we would walk in to softball tournaments with the girls. I would let the one girl, me and the other coach would be in the back watching all the other teams and parents going, what are these kids doing? It was great. We had a coach tell us when we were young, when we went to California and we were doing it.
Yeah.
He goes, don't change that. We're like, what do you mean? He goes, everybody knew who you were when you came in. Now you have to perform.
Right.
Now you have to perform. But everybody knew who you were. Don't change that swag.
It's like a fight.
That is some serious swag. And that coach is done.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that. They're done.
If you want,
I can't believe it.
The current betting is really pretty funny in the world because you can currently bet what the intro song is going to be tomorrow.
No way. That's great.
So here are your this is all offshore.
Right, yeah.
But Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar is the odds.
That's pretty good.
Evil Jordan by Playboy Cardi is plus 350. Tweaker by Jello. Like That by Future and Metro Boomin.
Like That.
It's Up by Drake, Young Thug, and 21 Savage. Humble by Kendrick Lamar. Middle Child by J. Cole.
Man.
Jumpman by Drake and Future. New Level by A$AP Rocky. And Kobe Bryant by Lil Wayne are your options for the walkout song, Boombox Walkout, for Saturday only for McNeese State for their game. Just the fact that the offshores are putting that up tells you that the world's been captivated by the McNeese State story.
They're watching, and listen, they're 6-point dogs to Purdue. Purdue's very susceptible to losing that game. As good as the entrance is and all that, McNeese really played well, and I think that could carry over. Speaking of Lil Wayne, he's here today.
Is he really?
At Resorts World.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Performing or is hanging out?
I think he's just hanging out in Zook. I'm not sure. I saw it on the marquee when I pulled in. I'm like, wait, Lil Wayne? I almost wanted to come up with one of the songs maybe for, a little quick rap for Roll Call Friday, but might have to have Francisco step in and do that one if we need to. But
Threshold
the other game in the Midwest is Arkansas and St. John's.
Tomorrow,
Yep. 7.
You get the Pazan Providence who
you just said it though. How they just looked so inept against the zone. Like St. John's defense is going to really
be a problem.
Thwart Arkansas.
I mean, the second half was wild. Omaha, they were in the game in the first half, and then the second half, it was a blink and it was 30. Like it was, and I saw people on social that were like they had taken the 27, 28, 29 points with Omaha, and all of a sudden it was 30. They're like, what is going on? How did this happen? It was a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And St. John's just flexed and was like, see you later. I mean, I laid 17.5 at open, and at halftime I was like, do I want to come back in here and bet it again? I was like, nah, I'll let it ride. And I watched it, and then about 5 minutes into the second half, I was like, okay, we're fine. Like, this is not going to be a close game. At the end of it, St. John's is just going to be able to do kind of whatever they want to do with it.
Total's 144.
My God. That's low for an Arkansas game.
I know, but I think it goes under.
Well, Boogie Flan did not play well. And it makes sense because he hadn't played in a long time. So you have a guy who just was sort of like out there. He didn't really know what to do. In his second game, he should feel much more comfortable, and that's a huge addition for Arkansas. And a guy who can beat the pressure and can take the ball off the court. He's so fast with the ball in his hands when he's playing well and the way he's supposed to. So I think I think Arkansas is going to have a chance in that game if Boogie Flan plays the way he's capable of. I mean, he's a lottery pick in some people's opinions. So let's see what he does in the second game. In the first game, he wasn't that effective,
right?
But he was enough. He played well enough. He was only supposed to play like 12 to 15 minutes. He played like 25. So he may be a little sore and tired today, but get some treatment and then get going. I think McNeese State can beat Purdue. I think that's absolutely there's a chance for McNeese to go ahead and win that game. I love the fact that that Auburn and Creighton's playing at night. So that's a 7 o'clock Eastern time start. So that's great.
4 o'clock our time. Yeah,
that's great. Get that game in the afternoon.
The SEC, Dave's Daily Picks dropped us a super chat.
Thank you.
And he said to remember when I said half the SEC would be out in round 1. Yes, we do remember that, Dave. Congratulations. That's what you're calling attaboy.
Yep.
Congrats. And Robert Morris money line was close, but I mean, it wasn't really close.
Alabama, Auburn, Arkansas. So we've got 3 wins. If we get to 8, it's all we gotta do is get to 8 and 6. And
it's going to be close.
I mean, we have Mississippi State's out.
Yep.
Who else lost from the SEC? Texas lost.
Ole Miss is playing now.
Texas lost. There's 2.
Yeah.
Who else lost from the SEC?
Yesterday?
I
all of them.
All of them. No, I mean,
Arkansas won yesterday.
Won. Auburn won. Alabama won. Tennessee won. Georgia lost. Missouri lost. There's 4.
And
that's it.
Yeah.
So there's 4.
Texas lost the play-in. So
I was counting that. So that's 4.
So they need to win.
Ole
Miss needs to win today. Ole Miss, that'll be the game.
I think they're 5.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss loses today.
Yeah.
So I think that they'll be done. Look, Adam Pyatt's asking about BYU and Wisconsin tomorrow.
How about that? Was going to get to that. That's an outstanding game.
I am very
entertaining as hell.
I have BYU to the Elite 8. Okay, I am really high on BYU. I thought they played exactly how I thought they could play yesterday in their win. I think they're going to beat Wisconsin. I know people don't like that play, but I like BYU to beat Wisconsin tomorrow. Take the points. I can't believe how big of a dog they are in that game. I'm really surprised.
It's the highest total of the day tomorrow, 155, and it's going over.
It should be, yeah. I mean,
I think it goes over.
If the game plays out the way it's supposed to,
yeah,
it should go over.
Yeah,
I like BYU. That favors BYU. I know. I mean, Wisconsin just shoots themselves out of games. I'm not a huge fan. If we're going into a 3-point shooting contest, I would rather back BYU in that situation than back Wisconsin in that situation. So that's
the other one there is Michigan and Texas A&M,
and I don't know what to do there.
Which Texas A&M is a 3-point favorite right now. Totals 140.5, 141.
No play for
Actually,
me.
Actually, steaming up right now.
I can't stand
playing that over.
I can't stand either.
You don't like, either team.
I don't want to play either.
Put it in the chat, boys and girls.
Michigan should have lost. A&M won. They were somewhat, fortunate to win their game. So, I don't know what to make of that at all. Because Clifford just made an NBA turnaround jumper. Let's go. 4-point lead for Colorado State.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
You got to keep us up to date. You got to keep us up to date on this. On Colorado State. You got to keep us up to date on this. So I need a W for CSU here today.
Cooper Flag playing.
Look, I get what you said yesterday. I would have Cooper Flag in there for a couple of minutes, but you saw what happened to the kid on Louisville who was playing through an ankle injury. He came around one screen and he couldn't get up. He was on the floor. He had to be helped off the floor.
Oh.
He was carried off the floor. He was coming back. He had missed 3 games with an ankle injury, and he came back, and he was a senior. So he's like, I'm playing, and he had to be physically helped up. His mother was in tears. His girlfriend was crying. Like, it was a whole scene yesterday with Louisville and Creighton. And like I feel the same way about Cooper Flagg. Like he's one bad step away from re-injuring that thing, and I just wouldn't play him in a game that doesn't matter. Like they don't need him. It matters obviously, but like they don't need him.
It's 26-12.
Yeah, I mean, just sit him down. Like, I put him down. Like Cooper, thank you very much. We'll see him. We'll see you in 2 days.
Right.
Like we'll see you on Sunday. Like okay, Baylor's the opponent. You're gonna face a really tough Baylor team. Okay, play him in that game. Fine, but I wouldn't have played him today. I would have had him just be a part of it, be an observer. The answer that someone said to me, they DM'd me, they said, he's never played in a tournament game before. You have to get him on the court. He's got to get that experience just to feel what a tournament game is like. And I was like, all right, fine. But once he gets his feet wet, get him out and sit him down.
I'm just good with getting reps. I don't know how long you have to play him. I just get out there, run some plays, take some shots, get a feel for the gym.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
That's fine. I get that. Go through warm-ups. Get the sight line down. Take some
play
shots.
20 minutes. And that's it.
I'd play 10, like 5 minutes a half, if that. But, I mean, I wouldn't have played, but I get the idea. I get the point as to why you do play him and why you need to play him, because you don't need him today, obviously, to get a W today.
The lowest total
St. Mary's, Vandy?
No, of tomorrow.
Oh.
Drake and Texas Tech.
Under game.
127.
Yeah, it's going to be a paint drying game. Drake's
127.
Drake doesn't want to shoot. Are they using
the shot clock for that game or what?
Drake doesn't want to shoot until there's about 2 seconds on the shot clock left.
My
good. That's just the way they play. They frustrate you. They run through their sets. They are such an active offense, and then defensively they want to make you work. And that's how they overcome the lack of athleticism. And Missouri had no answer for it last night. They couldn't figure it out. As the ball moved around, they were watching the basketball.
Yeah.
Instead of moving and trying to create turnovers, they were just watching the basketball move around. And then all of a sudden it just turned into open threes and big shots. And Drake was dunking yesterday on Missouri. It was crazy.
I know.
Just watching the way that they played, how efficient they were offensively. It's just a big difference.
My buddy Larry's coming on the show. Put that on and then make sure the microphone's close to your mouth. We'll put that on just like that. That's perfect. All right. This is Larry. Larry, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Pull that microphone closer to your face.
Right there?
There
we go.
That's great. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
How's it
Camera
going, guys?
straight ahead of you, so
Right
you're
here?
looking at us. Yeah.
All right.
This is Larry.
Hi,
What's up,
Larry.
guys?
And Larry's a cable guy. I mean, this is not even a joke.
Literally?
He's in
that's
my phone as Larry the cable guy. Tell him, Larry. Introduce yourself as that.
yeah. That's basically what I do for a living. So it doesn't help any. That's how it worked out. But
Can you say get her done, or is that just like off the
no,
cuff?
man, I ain't doing it. I can't do it, man. It's something I got to fight when I deal with residential customers all the time, man.
Right.
They're like, hey,
I mean, this is my life. I meet this guy. His daughter plays volleyball with my daughter. We start talking. He's in Eagles stuff.
yeah,
Back in December,
right.
and I'm like, hey, we got to start talking about this and that. So Larry and I befriended each other while the kids are playing. We're talking football,
Right.
and Larry, you had a really good call that I wanted you to share on the show.
Yeah,
A couple weeks before the NFC Championship game,
right. Because we were fighting with all the other parents.
right?
The Eagles were down every single time.
Yeah.
I had to fight all weeks, every championship,
Yes.
every round.
But
I had to argue
you told everybody what
that it was going to be the Eagles were going to blow out the Kansas City Chiefs.
in the Super Bowl. Yeah,
That Cooper DeJean was going to get a pick six,
absolutely.
and that Jake Elliott would miss a field goal.
That was the last leg.
That's the last leg.
My God.
That's the killer. And because he was having such a bad playoff run,
right.
it was in there. It was supposed to.
What
hit.
were the odds?
It was going to be. I don't remember the exact odds on it, but I remember the payout was $10,000.
Dang.
Yeah.
Three threw together.
because
Because it's some random stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean touchdown.
the Cooper DeJean
That's the
touchdown
hardest
was
one.
added it.
Right.
It
You
was
got
like
the hardest one.
Yeah.
the Cooper DeJean the touchdown added like plus 6,000,
Yeah.
plus 8,000.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
something.
It was
astronomical.
absurd.
It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
But he told me before, and I was like,
told him
man,
2
I got to
weeks.
remember to say that on the show. And we got caught up on all the Super Bowl stuff, and I forgot to put that out there. The second it happened, I got a text.
Yeah.
He goes to the end zone, and I get the text from Larry. Told you, and I was like, he did tell me. I forgot to even bet it.
Seriously, that's
that
incredible.
sucks. You didn't bet.
I know.
Because you like to bet the individual like the one.
Yeah,
I should have just left it off my ticket.
Right?
Just bet it straight out.
Just bet that. What are the odds just on that?
It was like plus 6,000.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
60 to 1.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
that's
something
what I mean.
should
It was
know.
absurd.
Dude. It was.
Yeah.
It was like unheard of that he was going to get a pick six.
Yeah,
it was. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody was saying
It was his first Super Bowl, his
Super Bowl.
first playoffs, his first interception, and his
it's a
first
big six.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Like
it was no way.
everything had to line up for that. That's a hell of a call
Yeah.
to have that.
That's
Are you an
blind-
Iowa guy? Like what?
No, man. Blind faith in the Eagles, man.
Okay.
Always.
Blind
Philly,
faith
everything.
in one guy, though.
No, when the beginning of the season started, we picked up Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell, and they were both like, kind of like everybody was like, oh, they're just too fit.
The first 4 games,
I'm
so the
like-
bye, they didn't play.
Yeah, I'm
Then they
like,
started playing them after the bye.
exactly. So I told everybody, I'm like, look out for these 2 rookies, man, because they're gonna do well. And not only are they gonna do well, it don't matter if they come from a smaller school or wherever they're from. Iowa's not small, but Quinion Mitchell, I forget where he came from, but
I don't even know. Put it in the
I
chat.
forget where
boys,
he
if
came
you
from.
know.
He was second,
Yeah.
but DeJean was a second-round pick out of Iowa.
Yeah.
Right.
But Quinion Mitchell wasn't, but he had 100% lock. Well, and I'm like, anybody who does that's gonna be successful.
Yeah.
Don't matter what game they play. So,
Are you doing anything with the basketball, or just kind of watching?
I am a little bit.
Right.
But I've hit 2 16ers.
Wow.
I mean, I'm all right with
This
it.
is what he does. He just
I just look
fixes
at
your
him.
cable, picks a 16er, plays it. You know,
Damn.
a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Knocking
Just
down
kinda-
16 parlays. Let's go.
Yeah.
I had 2 of them in the past 2 days.
Right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Sides or totals?
Totals.
Totals.
Yeah. I throw them all together.
Oh.
I'm waiting on 2 teams right now.
What?
I'm
Who?
waiting on Baylor. Well, I took Baylor,
Right.
Nice.
and then I took Colorado
State.
Colorado
Okay.
State.
Okay.
I took them money line,
Okay.
and
Me
then
too.
I have Ole Miss. I
Oh,
took
you have Ole Miss?
Yeah, I
Okay.
took
All right.
Ole Miss.
That's fine.
And then I think it's another one that already hit. It's I took a -6.5 first half,
Okay.
and then the other one is it's a big team -17 in the first
Later.
half.
Oh,
Yeah,
the first
yeah,
half.
yeah.
Oh, one of the
I gotta
big
look at it.
favorites.
I have
Okay.
it right here.
All right. That's fine.
I'll look at it.
First half.
Yeah.
So, but you're a baseball guy.
Yeah, big. Philly
I mean,
fan.
that's right.
Yeah, that's.
But you're an LA guy originally, but
no, I
you're
was
not
born in LA.
right, but
lived
not
in
a
Vegas.
Dodger guy.
Nah, never a Dodger guy.
Can't do it.
I'll go. I'll go watch a game. But I mean, I'm not a Dodgers
Florida
fan.
in the first half?
Yeah.
Oh,
Florida.
there it is.
There it
There
is.
it is. All right.
I got it right here. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. All right. Makes sense.
It is. So, it's a 6. Another 5 later.
Larry the Cable guy.
Yeah, another
Live
5 later.
play on the air right now.
I took
Give it to
Baylor,
him. Baylor.
Colorado State,
Win. Okay, go
Ole
right now.
Miss,
Ole Miss.
Gators -17 in the
In
first half. And then Iowa State -7.5 first half.
Oh, that hit.
All right.
Yeah, so that hit
So
already.
that's in already.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Your
So
Ole Miss,
I'm only missing
Ole
the
Miss
3.
might get you.
Yeah.
All right.
That might
Oh,
get-
yeah. I saw you guys put it in the Tar Heels.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
the first 15.
Just the first
That's all,
15.
not
I
the
have
first.
I have Carolina.
He's got
money.
You got
Carolina moving on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got to win the
All right.
next game too. I got to win 3 games.
Oh, okay.
So I have the Carolina making a bit of a run
Gotcha.
just because of what we've seen out of the first 4 before. Teams firing off and getting big runs off of it. When they're questioned, UCLA did it. VCU did it.
Gotcha.
A lot of teams have done it. I think Carolina's that team that's going to do it. But Ole Miss is a team that's going to have to fight for the SEC at the moment.
Yeah.
because There's some the middle of the
Not
SEC is
doing-
not doing too
Not
well.
doing too
Well,
good. Yeah.
I bet Ole Miss because I like Ole Miss.
Right.
Like they've hit a few.
Beard's a very good
like
coach.
so
Yeah.
when I bet NCAA, I'm like, dude, I don't know enough about basketball, so I'm going on straight gut.
Okay,
I'm
that's
just like,
fine.
whatever it has to be, and it's only just to get me through spring training.
There you go.
Wait.
Hold
for it.
on. Last question I got to ask you before we let you go.
Yeah,
You don't bet spring training baseball, do you?
twice.
Ever or a year?
Twice a year.
Twice a year.
Yeah, I do a couple in the beginning just to upset myself,
Okay.
and then I just
That's
lost.
really hard.
I just lost a 4-teamer with the Phillies and the Pirates.
my
This
gosh.
morning?
No, the other day
Oh,
they both
okay.
lost in the 9th. I was like, this is exactly why I don't bet spring training.
Do you care? The big fight today is in baseball is that the Dodgers just went over to Japan.
Yeah.
And they just made
the
a
new-
ton of money.
Right.
They captivated the whole country of Japan.
Yeah.
They sold more merch than they've ever sold over in
Pretty much
overseas.
exiting the Latino crowd from
Pretty
LA.
much. Yeah. They
Yeah.
just basically done Do you have a problem that the Dodgers keep on getting sent to places where they can make money?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Okay.
That sucks. Because I wanted Roki to be in some sort of competition.
Okay.
Because right now he's sitting in a rookie.
Yeah.
That dude sat down in the World Classic, sat down everybody.
Right.
So now everybody hasn't picked up, and he's just, oh yeah, we just picked up another rookie. Like, come on, dude. That kid throws gas, man.
He does.
And he's gonna do that lineup. Like, I'm only praying that the Phillies do something to compete. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Are they even going to win the division?
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
I'm not gonna say no.
I know.
I'm never saying no to that.
I mean, the kids might be watching.
They'll
call you fake.
And plus, because the Mets have Juan Soto.
Mets,
they ain't doing nothing, dude.
I don't know. If I'm the Phillies, I'm not afraid of the Mets.
Not at all.
No.
Juan Soto.
Maybe afraid of the Mets lineup, but not really afraid of the pitching.
Yeah.
The Braves.
Not at all.
I mean, the pitching. Strider looks like he didn't miss a beat. That's all the one start. I know, but he's back with the
the Braves, it's the same thing with the Braves, though, man. They're sitting on, they still got Acuna and all. They got a great team,
right?
If they're healthy,
if they stay healthy,
yeah.
But they just end up they lose, man. They lose important games.
All right, go fix somebody's cable.
Got you guys.
Thanks for coming down, brother. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, man.
You got it. Tell the kids you were on TV later.
That is the Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy. Give us 16. He's got 3 games left.
Tremendous.
Thanks, brother.
Good job. Right. I know the Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, you do?
Well, so Todd and Tyler, shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
In Omaha, Nebraska. Todd and Tyler were the ones that basically started Larry's career. So Larry started to just call in to Todd and Tyler.
Okay.
And Larry was from Western Nebraska, and he would just call into their show and just started doing the bit. He used Todd and Tyler to basically
get reps and
refine the character of Larry the Cable Guy.
A morning radio show?
Yep, in Omaha.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been #1 in Omaha for 30 years now.
Okay.
Your neck of the woods. Mike Tyler from Pittsburgh. So
would he do what? 12 minutes? We would do a segment, or
he would just call into the show, and he'd hang up and get her done. you go ahead and hang up. And so Larry started coming into the studio when I moved to Omaha. Larry would come into the studio and hang out, so we got a chance to meet him. And he's a guy who is a big Husker fan. He has a big luxury suite now.
Is he a cable guy for real?
Though?
No. Okay.
He just played the role.
Okay,
it was a bit that turned into one of the most recognizable comedic bits,
without a doubt,
of all time. I mean, anytime you can become the voice of a car, he makes more money on Cars now, in the movie Cars, than anything else.
Yep,
because he's known as Lightning McQueen, right? Was the name of the was the voice of the car? Yeah. So he was that.
Wow,
and that became his most profitable.
I'd
thing.
love to be the voice of a car too.
I would too.
Man, that would voiceover work would be fantastic.
It's so easy. I know people do it in radio who do voiceover. Man. Like they get a script in the morning, and they get paid per page,
right?
And they go downstairs and they do it for 15, 20 minutes, and they're done. They paid their money for the day.
It's
a great gig.
That might be the next iteration of all this.
Oh, it's a phenomenal world. Right? You can get into voiceover work. It is great work if you can find it. There's agents.
Mater. He was Mater. He wasn't like he was Mater.
Thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah, the beat up truck.
Okay, right. Yeah, so he crushes. That's his big. Who was the voice of Lightning McQueen? Who was the voice of the
Daniel car? G's in the chat. He'll tell him in about 2 seconds.
Tell us who's that,
please.
59-52. Colorado State's up by 7 with 9 to play in the second half against Memphis. 41-20. Duke all over Mount St. Mary's. There is expected. We're tied at 9 with 14:25 to play in the first half between St. Mary's and Vanderbilt.
Come on. We got to get that first to 15 in with St. Mary's.
So they were down 4-3. They were down 7-5.
That guy taking a picture with Mike Tyson over there.
It's tremendous. It's tremendous. That Mike Tyson statue is tremendous.
It's so good.
It really is.
It's so good.
It's young Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
It makes him look so much taller and bigger than he actually is.
Yes.
Because Mike is like 5'8". Mike's not tall.
When you come to Resorts Road, you have to walk by the mini sphere and on the way to Zook or here, take a picture with Mike Tyson in front of the Mike Tyson.
Still my claim to fame that I was locked in a room with Mike Tyson. I didn't die. He was literally across the table from me.
In that little studio at the Venetian.
I didn't die.
Ooh, that was tight.
I only asked him one question he didn't like.
Yeah.
But was enough to him to look at me sideways. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Because it was him and then Clayton Kershaw.
Right.
That was the day. Mike Tyson came in and then Clayton Kershaw came in. It was a pretty nice parlay for interviews. That was the first 2 interviews we launched. Game Night with Matt Perrault. We launched that show with those 2 interviews.
Okay.
With Mike Tyson and Clayton Kershaw were the first 2 guests for that nationally. For what moved me here to Vegas at the time. Yeah, it was a pretty good start. We kind of went downhill from there.
Right.
We didn't. I don't think we ever matched that level of interview power. And we taped it in July. The show didn't start till August, so we held the interview for a month before we actually came in. But I learned a lot about Clayton Kershaw and his history and being a Texas farm boy and just all the stuff he did growing up
before all the kids.
Yep. Well, I think he got married and he had like 1 and 1. He didn't have all of them like he has now, but he was just such a Texas guy. And so as a company I was working for was based in Houston, so he was loving the back and forth about Texas and home and everything else. So that was that's one of those where were you type moments,
right?
Like, what do you mean? Like, what? I'm talking to who? Mike Tyson. Oh, okay. Sure. Let's go interview Mike Tyson. So,
all right,
10-point lead for Colorado State.
Keep it up, Francisco.
Let's go.
Thank you, sir.
64-54 with 8:29 to play in that game. So, Mountain West fans, you may get a win in this tournament after all. Just shut up everybody who's been dropping. Oh, no. Vandy's 11-9. We're getting close to the 15.
Oh,
here comes the sweat.
Baby. Here comes the
need
sweat.
a little spurt here. Need a 6-0 St. Mary's run here. A couple of back-to-back threes.
That's all. Just gonna keep up with them until you get to 13. Although 12, I mean, that's the danger. Vandy up 11-9.
Why did they pick 15 as the number?
Because it's odd. Okay. The 10 point. It's sooner. 15 is sooner than 21. The early settle, I mean, it won't surprise me if some book starts doing 1st to 6.
Oh, my.
Like, to just get more ridiculous.
1st to 6.
Yeah. The 15 gets you into the second TV timeout a lot of times.
Yep.
Unless there's 3 bomb early.
Go to the third.
And so it's ideally you settle it before the middle of the first half. I think 15 was the number.
Under 16 timeout, under 12 timeout. So you get to we're at 12:27 at the moment. 11-11.
There we go.
We are.
Come on.
Here's the sweat.
Come on.
It's tied at 11.
Come on, St. Mary's.
Can St. Mary's get here on this?
See, and I mean, and like there's no algorithm for that. There's no it's fun to take the dog. Yes. And the payout is better. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I felt like this game was a pick-em, so I took the team I thought was going to get there first.
11-10 to play in the first half. 11-11.
We get there. Yeah, we get there before the next TV timeout. I'd say yes. Right.
Well, I think
before
we did.
The 8 minute.
We just hit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was it 8 minute? Yeah. This is when once we get to this timeout, things really pick up speed.
Right.
We start seeing a lot of offense. Yes. So the fact that it's 11-11 and the live total for this is 131.5. Ooh. My gosh, this is a low-scoring game, as you would expect. Better for St. Mary's for this. I laid 4 with St. Mary's on this game, so I like the Gales because I think Vandy's going to get frustrated as the game goes on. I think playing against this slow, methodical style that the Gales play is going to frustrate Vanderbilt, and they will go cold. We've seen them away from home have shooting slumps and go cold, and they won't have any answer because I don't like Vandy's defense all that much, to be quite honest, either. So I like the Gales. I know folks saw some people in the content space pick this as their dog play of the day.
Oh, okay.
It's Vandy. It's their dog play of the day. I don't agree. I went with.
Is this as fun as the gift? The goal in the first 10 minutes.
It's one of. I think if you come to Vegas and you come here for Thursday and Friday and you play it 32 times, I think it's one of the most fun things you can do in gambling because you have action on every game, and then it's just. Next game.
Yeah,
go ahead
I don't know if you need to play it all 32 times. Because I checked the Duke price.
Okay,
and it was minus 1,200.
What?
Duke?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So you don't play either side of that because the plus wasn't big enough, and it was really going to be a miracle if the other side of the Duke game was going to even have a chance.
I mean, no, I think you take the dog.
The dog. St. Mary's wasn't going to
take the dog for the hell of it. You're going to lose. Take the dog just to see if it hits. Think about the sweat that we think about Omaha last night.
Oh, it was great.
I mean, Omaha.
That 3 minutes of wavering. I mean, this is going to be fun with St. Mary's. If we get a lead,
you need a bucket.
That's what we need. Oh, jeez, we got a traveling call on St. Mary's.
Well, I'm ahead, so I mean, I should get to see the stream.
Oh,
here.
you have the Sportsbook app. I'm trying not to look at that.
Okay, so what's
that's fine. That's good. Keep an eye on it.
It's just faster.
Yeah. I mean, it's
in terms of how the
can
game
you
goes.
watch games without that now? It's really hard.
Yeah, of course I can. Yeah,
I know, but it's really
if I
hard.
don't have money on it.
If you don't have money on it, then yes.
If I have money on it,
but if you have money on it, you want to watch the fastest speed.
But if I ever lose the ability to watch a game without having money on it, I'll retire. I'll quit.
Yeah.
If I reach to the point where I have to have dollars on something in order to enjoy it from a sports perspective, I'll stop working in sports betting. I'll stop working in sports because I have to appreciate the sport first and foremost, and that's what makes the betting even better. It's a cherry on top of the sundae. I gotta like the sundae first.
Yep.
I like the sundae, then get me out of here. I gotta like what I'm doing.
I think a lot of people have to not have one of those like settling things in your head and think that out, but I think you need to have that at some point with like people in the business. I mean, we've talked about it. I have friends who loved sports, got in the business, and now they don't watch sports because they don't want to be in the business anymore.
Correct. But I think what sucks the joy out of what you guys do from a numbers perspective is when someone says, dude, you must make a line on a game that you don't care about and you have no interest in whatsoever, and it becomes work. That sucks the joy out of the sport when you're forced to make a number that you're going to be judged on as your job. If you make a bad number and the book gets killed in that game, that is on you, right? As
it is, but it is. But again, the numbers aren't as exact. 13-11 St. Mary's?
Nope.
Oh no,
Andy,
come on! It's the losing or being judged, but you're never praised in being right. So it wears on you in that regard. And plus, a lot of people just get tired of the grind. I mean, it becomes a grind. Like
work.
I ran into Alan Byrne yesterday.
Yeah,
and this is his first March Madness, not in the business. And he's working a regular job in it for a gambling company, but it's completely unrelated.
Right.
And I said, "How is it?" And he goes, "I miss being around the fellas. Like I miss being around the boys. I don't miss all the other stuff." And I'm like, "Well, that's what we all miss." Like I think that kind of camaraderie and the ability of like, this is someone's time to shine. This March Madness is the basketball guru guy. He loves this,
of course,
because all of the work is done.
Yep.
You just put the numbers up.
Vandy 3.
Done.
Game over.
Well,
Vandy.
We got our first garbage.
16-11. Shot. Vandy with the shot. And a 3.
You count North Carolina is going to get there then.
You're right. Yeah. Bet on Carolina.
Yeah.
66-58 with 5 to play. Colorado State up on Memphis. So I'm on that. I really do think that St. Mary's is still favored in the game. Oh, no, now they flipped it. Okay, St. Mary's now the dog. Plus 1.5 on St. Mary's. Vanderbilt at minus 1.5. So we'll see what ends up happening as that game has 9.5 to play in the first half with that. So
it should be minus 120.
You're betting. He's telling Francisco to bet North Carolina.
My runner. I got a runner. This is great. Yeah.
To go make a play for him.
It's going to start in
2 seconds.
10 minutes.
Right? 51-26. Duke is leading over Mount St. Mary's. Guys, we're coming to you live from Red Tail Lounge. This is right by the district. So if you come to Vegas and you walk down the Las Vegas Strip, we're down on the far end of the strip, but when you walk in, Red Tail and Zook are right here when you walk in on the left-hand side. This is a really cool place to watch football. It's a really cool place to watch the UFC. They do gigantic UFC watch parties every single time there's a pay-per-view. They do them here. They got big parties happening for the NFL draft, for the NBA playoffs, all happening here in town. And, I mean, from a comfort standpoint, it's awesome. It's no smoking. It's quiet in terms of you can watch the game. You hear people cheering and whatnot, but it's not like you got music pumping or anything going on.
Right.
They're here. You can watch games. The food's tremendous. We're going to partake in that when we're done here and have some fun here at Red Tail Lounge. Great drink specials as well. They have all specialty cocktails lined up as well for the March Madness and different bets and plays that they've got going on. Sam Adams has got a whole big display for a cool-looking bracket that they've brought over here.
You see those big beers?
The beer towers are their calling card. That's their calling card.
I mean, did you watch the girls have to pour them? Like, it's a little right. It's a little bit of like you got to get that thing over there, skill, tilt it, get all this. I was like, don't drop that. It's a little bit harder than it looks. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on over there.
Live number is 7.5 for Colorado State. The total's up to 149.5. You've got Vandy and St. Mary's now flipped backwards. It was now Vandy was favored, and now they're plus 2.5 as St. Mary's hits a 3 to cut the lead in half to 16-13. St. Mary's closed at 4-point favorites. They're 2.5-point favorites here at the moment. 126.5 live total.
Wow.
For Vanderbilt and St. Mary's.
My gosh.
That's Drake tomorrow. Drake's 127 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's a similar type of price. The other games that are going to take place later on today, you mentioned North Carolina, Ole Miss. I like money line. Big steam on Carolina. Generally speaking, when steam happens in the tournament, good news or bad news?
All dependent on the game. Okay. Like sometimes, again, as the book, you're not worried about any of it. You're just like, just bet it, move it. Like it's just so easy. There's so much volume. I saw someone report from Bet365.
Yeah.
It was their biggest handled day of college basketball yesterday ever. And today's going to eclipse it.
Yeah.
Today is Friday. Just because of the day of the week, you're going to do more handle. You can see it. Yeah. There's more people in the book. Like when I came in and was milling around the book, there's more people in there. There's more people around town. There was more cars in the parking lot. Yeah. So Friday, I think Friday's the biggest handle day because it's the most games. Saturday, again, the numbers are getting bet and moving and tight. But that game, I don't know. I don't buy the steam moves as much. Okay. I really don't.
Okay, fine.
Maybe more on the totals.
Maryland's laying 4.5 to Grand Canyon.
No, that's first half. They're laying 10. Maryland's laying 10.
What did I say?
4.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. 10.5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not 4.
Yeah.
Sorry.
10.5.
Maryland's laying 10.5.
Yeah, it was 11.5 yesterday.
They cover
I
it?
want Grand Canyon to keep that a game.
No.
It's bad. It's a bad
matchup.
Game goes over, though.
In particular because I feel like they're very trendy right now to pick Grand Canyon.
Drake was the trendiest dog of the day yesterday, along with Arkansas.
I can make
they won.
I know, but I could do a logical play on Drake because of who their coach is, who their best player was, the conference they played in, and the metrics. None of that comes into Grand Canyon. I mean, I like Bryce Drew, but the metrics are not good for Grand Canyon up against Maryland.
What's Ochoa doing over there?
I don't know. Trying to figure
cash out.
Trying to figure out how to.
When you have a voucher, you have to hit the cash out button. It's like that. He doesn't know what to do with the rest.
Florida's laying 28.5.
And then just hit the cash out. What? Oh. All right. Just hit the cash out button there on the right, upper right.
Dave's teaching him how to use the kiosk.
Oh my goodness! Nice locked in over there.
That's tremendous. Florida laying 28.5 to Norfolk State. Any shot for the dog?
No,
I agree. That can get real.
I don't think so.
Troy and Kentucky, 11.5.
Kentucky's winning the game,
but by how many is the question, right? I agree.
It might hover around the number, and like you see what happens in the second half of these late. Like Alabama was down to Robert Morris, and all of a sudden, bye.
See ya.
You know,
spurtability.
So it could happen. Did you get it to work? All right.
It wasn't taking.
Okay, that's fine. All right, we're good.
That's great. The trendy dog play of the day, in addition to Grand Canyon, what about New Mexico? They're catching 4.5 to Marquette. Big East has looked pretty good so far.
I like Marquette.
Creighton wins. Arkansas, St. John's wins.
I like Marquette.
Xavier won. Big East is 3-0.
New Mexico's in what conference again?
the no, not the WAC. They're in the
They in the Mountain West?
no Conference USA, right? Or in the Mountain West. I always forget. New Mexico State's in the Mountain. New Mexico State's in the Mountain West. New Mexico is not in the Mountain West, right?
Sure.
Or are they in the Mountain West? They both are in the Mountain West.
Mountain West.
They don't play. Did they play football? I don't think they play football. That's what always confuses me about New Mexico. It's Patino's team. That's all I know. So it's Richard Pitino. So
yeah.
Let's see on that. Chat, tell us. I think they're in the Mountain West. Oh, they won. They won the Mountain West Conference. Thank you. Okay, so they are in there.
All right.
I don't know. New America Lobos money line to juice. Okay, I guess so. On this,
I don't know. I like Marquette.
I like Marquette.
I was on with Joe O and Sammy P today. And
okay.
Joe O liked against Marquette. He said he's not impressed with Shaka in the tournament.
VCU was in the Final Four, so
and that was a while. I guess the Texas stuff was probably why, but
fine.
I'm like,
everyone in Texas has struggled. I
think he said the number was 3-31 in their last 34 against the spread. No, Mountain West teams. He goes, I like the Mountain West. I go, so you want to go with the 3-31 trend and be to win? It didn't make sense to me, so I don't know.
Well,
I looked at the
State's
games
up
this
by
morning.
10 with 3 to play in the second half. So
they opened it up. That's good.
It looks like they're going to get the first win on the board for the Mountain West Conference. Yeah. So that's big, and big for my make the Sweet 16 bet. So now I can hedge off the 4-1 play that I made.
Okay.
So I like that to take that. So now it's a guaranteed profit for whomever they play coming up in the second round. But has Shaka peaked? I don't think so, personally. I think Shaka Smart is still a really, really good coach.
I think so, too.
I love Marquette. I mean, this year Marquette just was one of those under-the-radar teams that was fun to bet on. They're hard to face, but New Mexico is too, for that matter. So, but I don't like teams that have tremendous home court advantages like New Mexico does outside of the pit. I feel like Vandy's the same way. It's why I faded Vandy. I don't like teams that when they go on the road to neutral, if they're great at home, that's how they get into the dance. But this is not played on their home court. Like, teams that are dominant at home, that's great. But can you do anything when you're not at home? Like, can you go on the road,
right,
and win games aren't on the road? So that's my
Michigan State's playing Bryant later. 17 totals 152.5. I mean, how that looks like that's going to just be an ugly basketball game.
Robert is asking us, where do you guys rank this tournament in sports? I'm biased, so Stanley Cup playoffs is number 1, but this might be number 2. Just asking your opinion.
For a betting event? Just in general?
Think he just means in general.
Well, I mean, I got the best thing for me sports-wise is the NHL playoffs, but 1A is the baseball playoffs. I love the randomness of it. I love the every pitch feels like it means something, but this is really close because you get that intensity. The games start out like, oh, hey, everybody's happy to be here, and then it gets really meaningful. I think the joy of it is that it accentuates college basketball to me. Like the college basketball season, a lot of people tell you it's meaningless and, it's not important and, they just need to get to the tournament and that's when the games all mean something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this accentuates that the most because there's so many games in baseball. There's so many games in hockey. Oh boy. See that?
No.
We'll talk about that off the air.
Oh. I'm not reading your phone.
No. I thought I saw it pop up there too.
Oh,
because he texted us both. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that stinks. Okay.
Yeah. The thing about this, it used to feel like kids. It used to feel like it was still the last thing that was amateur. This doesn't feel like that. It never
bothered me because I knew it wasn't.
I know,
but this
did. But that's done.
Yeah, this is the greatest event that we put on as a country, and the reason I said it before, it's not why it's number 1 for me, is because Major League Baseball, the NHL, the NBA, and the NFL is all based upon major markets. This is not. This is based upon farm towns, college towns, small markets, medium-sized cities that everybody comes together to have a rooting interest. This is alumni groups, and this is a throwback to your college days. And you reconnect with your family, you reconnect with your friends and your college buddies and people. Remember when it was 1995 and we were at so and so's house and da 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 da. Like I just think it brings back for so many of us who went to college and who have had interests in college sports. This is the ultimate, because it is 16 games in one day, 16 games in the next day. It's it shuts down the work productivity in the country. Like, people just stop working for 2 days.
It's
because
wild.
of it. So,
and even it kind of catches you. If you're not a basketball fan, this can kind of cross over into the event.
Right.
We went out to dinner last night with a dear friend from back home, and she was here for a conference, and she's like, hey, haven't seen her for a while. So Jess and Kendall and myself met her for dinner at Buffalo Wild Wings at like 9 o'clock. And the games were on. And San Diego and Michigan were playing, and it was on without sound where we were, but the other games were on sound. And the whole place was packed.
Of course.
Like, everybody was watching it. So I think
everyone can do a bracket, right?
Exactly.
Everybody can.
That's
everybody can
the
fill it
key to all of this, is that bracket. I got mine right here. I don't have it filled out, but I have it for the point spreads. I've been traveling with this thing for weeks, or for a week.
Nice. By the way, one of our insiders is telling us that UNLV might be hiring Eric Olian from San Diego, UC San Diego, the Tritons who lost yesterday to Michigan. He may wind up becoming the new head coach of UNLV. So,
wow.
Just a little.
He's been there forever.
Yeah. So that's the scuttlebutt today, that there's some rumors flying around Las Vegas from our insiders that might be the guy.
Does that make sense to you?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, it's not a splash, but he's cheap. He's going to be inexpensive as a hire.
Yeah.
And he's, built a program in the Big West that is obviously good. He did. Well, hold on. Let me back that up. He built a D2 program into a D1 program. So
and he's
got
to leave now?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, it got to be a bag.
How big of a bag?
It's got to be a bag.
How much money?
Here, I don't know.
I'm saying he's making $200,000 as a coach of San Diego. So it's a huge bag comparatively. UNLV can pay him $800,000. It's going to, 4x his money. UNLV is not going to pay a lot for basketball. This is what I mean. If they maxed out Dan Mullen to go after football, and clearly they're now having a tough time saying they can pay the contract for Dan Mullen. So if that's the case, I'm guessing they're going to go inexpensive with the next head basketball coach. And frankly, they lost out on Will Wade, and he's at NC State, so maybe that was the guy they were willing to pay for, and now they're not going to pay big money.
Surprised. I don't know.
It's not shocking to me that they're going to go cheap. But
I think it's okay to talk to them. I don't know if that's the answer. Something's got to be done, because like the step back this year here
for basketball
was drastic.
But then why not? I mean,
last year had a buzz, and it was. I mean, we went to games. It was fun.
Some might say, if you're going to hire Eric Olson, who's relatively unproven to be the next UNLV coach, why why are you firing the current coach? Because are you sure that this is an upgrade? Like, that's
what I mean. I don't know.
Did Kruger get a rough shot of it? He had 3 years. He had a winning record at UNLV. So, but he missed the tournament all 3 years.
Right.
And you can't miss the tournament in this town, because there's a lot of people who are remembering the 90s, and whenever they see Duke, they get mad.
Right.
Because they're like, remember when we killed Duke by 30 in the title game? Remember how great we once were? And it's a throwback, and it's an anger that a lot of UNLV alumni have, that they feel like, well, wait a minute. We used to be this prideful program, and basketball is still the biggest program at UNLV. It is still a basketball school, and they have access to all these great players, and they don't come here anymore. I mean, USA Basketball works out every single summer at Thomas and Mack. The NBA Summer League plays at Thomas and Mack. Like, all the AAU tournaments all come here to play throughout the entire city. So, you can sell Las Vegas to a recruit. Now, the mom and dad might not love that, but a recruit can be sold Las Vegas pretty easily. You want to play Vegas? Come here and play.
I would think so.
Got to get a coach who can sell it.
And are we staying in the Mountain West?
Well, the Mountain West and the Pac-12 are going to merge, right? So, like, that whole
I think
proposed
that's a little bit of a
proposed merger is all going to be the question when it comes to this as to like, what it looks like. But there's still – we're not done with conference realignment. We're not done with West Coast movement for who's going to be a part of what conference when. So, and obviously football drives that, not college basketball.
Yeah.
So where do we go with this? I don't know. I mean, where the Mountain in 5 years, what does the Mountain West Conference look like? I don't know.
I don't know what it looks like in 3 years.
Fine, or one for that matter. But like, I do know that UNLV is in a good position due to the football program and what they've got with the Fertittas and the fact they play at Allegiant Stadium,
right,
to make some noise.
Yeah,
and they were in the conversation. I mean, we were talking about them with the playoffs.
Yeah,
in November we were talking about UNLV potentially making the playoffs. So they got to capitalize on that. And frankly, there has to be. Purdue came and gave a bag to Barry Odom. So when you lose your coach like that, that's a good thing. But now Dan Mullins has got to pick it up and go and run with this program and do big things because they need him to win football-wise. And then you can pay more for basketball and you can do more.
It's 11-2.
Yeah.
Ole Miss over North Carolina. That's toast.
But 20? No, it's not.
First to 25 is done.
Oh, that.
First to 15. That's
okay,
done.
Let me the game.
That wasn't even fun.
78-67.
Damn.
Colorado State up on Memphis with 30 seconds to play. So CSU will advance to the second round and a win finally for the Mountain West Conference. They're on the board now with a 1-3 record in the tournament. We'll see what New Mexico does later on today. That game has now gone final. Vanderbilt's up 24-16, up by 8 on St. Mary's. St. Mary's offense is not looking great here in the first half, but they can recover. Duke is up 54-28 at halftime over Mount St. Mary's. And as you mentioned, it's 11-2 North Carolina down to Ole Miss with 16:45 to play in the first half. So we're still very early there.
So Colorado State gets the winner of Maryland and Grand Canyon.
Yep, and I think they beat Maryland.
Wow. All right, we got ourselves that's going to be interesting.
But I'm betting Maryland because I've got a 4-1 ticket on CSU to make the Sweet 16.
Okay.
So that was always my strategy was
that'll be way less.
On my
that's great.
On my bracket, I picked CSU to win, but I bet CSU to make the Sweet 16 at 4-1, knowing that I'm going to be able to take Maryland.
They got all different schools. There's Arizona. There's Arizona.
That's pretty good.
Is that a Creighton hat?
It's a Jordan. No.
Oh, in front. The guy in front had a Creighton hat.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Go Jays. Yeah. Let's go.
Michael Jordan.
All right.
North Carolina jersey.
Creighton fans in Vegas.
How about that?
Love it.
Yeah.
Question: are they from Omaha or not? That'd be my question.
You think so?
I don't know. Tina Fey and Amy Poulter are performing here at Resorts World in May.
Really?
I didn't know they're doing like a stand-up.
I was just going to ask you. I didn't know.
What to say.
I didn't know either.
I was like, wow. I saw the ad. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I was like, that probably would be pretty well attended.
Maybe
that ticket probably would sell pretty well here in town.
Yeah,
I think it will. I mean, that's one of those shows that like there's a very specific audience, but like they love them. Like, they love those two together.
I got to ask because I saw it right before we started the show.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, not a Steeler yet. In Pittsburgh,
taking a tour.
Yep.
Walking him through the facility.
Yep.
He's going to be the quarterback, isn't he?
I mean, I don't know. It's a really good question because I think there may be some rules that the Steelers are going to put into place that Aaron may not want to be a part of. I mean, because like for instance, ESPN is buying the NFL Network, right? So ESPN now is going to run the NFL Network. There's been like this theory that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a broadcaster. He could be a really good broadcaster.
Yeah.
But he's such a dink that they want no part of him.
Oh.
So like the offer is for him to become a broadcaster, to say, hey, you can leave the game and do what Tom Brady did. Here's your parachute. Here's your soft landing. So you're not embarrassed about walking off the gridiron into basically, being a nobody. You can be a broadcaster. You can be an ESPN commentator. Or you can be on the NFL Network. You can be a you can do the whole, typical ex-quarterback thing. But nobody wants to hire him because he's such a pain in the ass. So he has to go and find a job to be a quarterback. And so, knowing that the Steelers may come in and be like, hey, you're competing for the job. We're not giving you the job. Mason Rudolph is going to have a chance to beat you out. He may be like, see you later. I want no part of this. He's a problem. I mean, everywhere he goes, he's a problem. And the idea that he's going to get in line, he's going to have to go out and take all the veterans out for a ridiculous dinner, and they get to just either roast him or say whatever they want to him. Because the public comments by DK Metcalf and Cam Hayward, they've already laid down the runway for them to steamroll Rodgers if things go poorly. They can say, we told you. We warned you. I don't know. By the way, you're not dead yet. It's 14-10.
That'd be amazing comeback if that happens.
14-10.
I've written it off.
Need two quick threes and 16-14.
Right. That'd be a hell of a comeback. I don't know. I was getting texts while I was driving here, and I was like, I mean, what do I know? I'm not a personnel guy.
Do you want Aaron Rodgers to rep the franchise?
Well, I just think it would again delay the inevitable.
The losing.
Yes, it's got to happen.
Okay.
I don't know. I said it to somebody this morning. They're still not better than Baltimore. They're still not better than Cincy. If they sign them, they're still not better than Baltimore, and they're still not better than Cincy. So they're the third best team in the division. And I don't know, this campaign that's going on with Deshaun Watson and working out, and he's, got engaged or something like this. Everything's settled. Yeah. Maybe he comes back and can play.
He's not out. He's out for the year. He hurt his Achilles.
I know, but these guys have gotten better at coming back from that stuff. Who knows? I don't know. But you get 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right.
No.
Again, I thought the Russ thing last year was
they got there.
hard.
Damn it. 16-10.
Yeah. That was done.
That stinks.
UNC better just get it going, period. And come back. We'll see. What's the in game? They down?
Is Carolina?
Ole Miss favored?
Ole Miss
should be favored down by 2.5, 3.5, something like that.
Where's that number? 3.5.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is favored.
Still got it.
By the way, guys, it's 29-20 at halftime for Vandy and St. Mary's. There's so much time left. You have a whole half. Relax. Gamblers are always so funny. They're always they just can't believe. At one point last night, San Diego was down by double digits and they lost the game by 3. They pushed. So
they came all the way back and were winning.
They were
65-64
for one possession, but they were winning. So college basketball games are long and runs are going to happen.
Yeah.
And St. Mary's is not dead. Okay. I mean, not by any stretch. It's only they're up 29-21 and the number's 2.5 to give you an idea what the books think of what this game's going to turn into.
Yeah.
It's going to tighten up in a big way.
Clemson almost coming back? That was fun. That was hilarious.
I was driving and I was watching on my phone going are they going to do this? And I was like, my God, because I had a parlay on that. I had a UCLA Clemson moneyline parlay.
We had the Baltimore boys stop by yesterday.
Nice.
Greg, he took Clemson plus 13.5, whatever that was.
We told him to.
And so, when he was here.
Yeah.
So he sent a text, said thanks. But you can really see it in the college. Yeah. It doesn't. I want to say it happens a lot in the NBA, and it does. But there's games where you just know the team's not coming back.
Right.
Just not happening. Last night was the Lakers.
You don't normally see the odds makers make a dramatic mistake too. It's not always on the number, but if a team is favored by 2 and they're down 15, most likely they're going to come back. Most likely that number, they may lose by 4 or 5, but they aren't going to lose by 20. You just don't normally see.
Unless it's one of those nights.
Yeah, but
but that was a bad beat. It was 31-13 at halftime.
Right.
The game went over the total.
Yeah. Because they
I don't know how it went over the total.
Because they scored 67
points in the second half.
They scored 67 points. Clemson did. So, I mean, they scored over 50 points in the second half.
Yeah, they scored 90, I think, in the second half to combine. That doesn't make no sense.
They went nuts.
Yeah.
So, like, they'd score a ton had a ton to go ahead and put it up. So, it's not, I don't know. I think that's not all that shocking when you're watching. And I do think St. Mary's will be in for a pretty good run here at some point. It's 29-22. They're down by 7 points at the break.
At the half.
That's nothing. There's not a lot of points when they play 21 more minutes of basketball. So I wouldn't stress out. St. Mary's, I like St. Mary's. I like them all the way to the Sweet 16. I think they come back and win this. I was right with Colorado State. Hopefully I'm going to be right here with St. Mary's and see if Vanderbilt collapses here in the second half. So happy fans for Colorado State to get a W in advance. And now we'll see if St. Mary's can join it and do the same thing here with them. Duke's up big, 54-28. And then it's 18-11 now. Ole Miss now 20-11. Numbers now to 4.5. Ole Miss shooting the ball well for Chris Beard.
Larry the Cable Guys in the chat now.
Nice.
I love it. Good to see you, Larry.
What's going
in
on?
the chat. That's fantastic. He's excited about the Ole Miss. That's great. It says Larry the Cable Guy. We can tell everybody Larry the Cable Guy's in our chat.
Tremendous.
That's fantastic.
Tremendous.
Thanks for being here, boys and girls. Whoever's in the chat, we appreciate you as always.
It's funny. We should bring Mike Tyler on the show at some point. Mike is an awesome dude.
Reach out.
Huge Steeler fan from Pittsburgh. Goes back there all the time.
Pittsburgh people love Pittsburgh people, just like Iowa people love Iowa people. It's true.
Iowans love Iowans.
Yeah, it's true.
So he's been on the radio now for 30 years. One kid just graduated from Kansas. One kid plays football at the D2 level.
Okay.
Back on the East Coast. I can't remember which school that he plays on the D2 level. But a guy who I learned a lot from. It's the origin. His show is the origin of the tattoo. It was his show that I did. I said what I said on that show. So that was the Todd and Tyler show in which I went crazy on the morning show. It made news in a really bad way. And so it was his show. So I've stayed close and in touch with them for a long time. His partner, Todd, shattered his leg skiing about 5 years ago, and has been coming back. I think he broke it in like 30 places or something. It was really bad.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
He couldn't. He was pinned, and he was up in a bed for like 4 months. It's really bad ski accident. But and they like think about our show. Like if you break your leg, like how do you do the show? Like you just don't.
Yeah, that would be tough.
You can't do the show, so they were off the air for a while.
One leg up like that.
Just start talking. He's holding the microphone. Just start talking. Tough to make jokes when you're on painkillers. So
no good,
not great there. So that's a guy maybe we bring on the show at some point down the line.
What about we got to talk about it?
Okay, what?
UConn.
Sure. Oklahoma. All in. Give me the points.
6.5. Yeah, they can't get a bet on Oklahoma at any book anywhere.
I took 5.5. I mean,
you can't get a bet on Oklahoma anywhere.
I mean, and
I feel like a chump the way the SEC has performed, especially the bottom.
Ole Miss, Vandy, what's wrong?
Taking Oklahoma.
You watched them. You saw fears.
I did.
Look, I get the idea that Dan Hurley against Porter Moser is the reason why everyone's betting it. Okay, they're saying it's a monster mismatch that Hurley is going to just coach circles around Porter, and that's why. Liam McNeely is a tremendous player, but he's nothing that the SEC hasn't seen. Like he in the SEC is a good player. He's the best player, arguably, in the Big East. But he can take over a game. This is not a very strong UConn team, and the same warts I see on UConn I see with Oklahoma.
Right?
It's a one-possession game to me, one way or the other. UConn wins, Oklahoma wins. It's 3 points one way.
I don't think it's a blowout.
No,
by any means.
No.
And over 6.5 got to be. I mean, again, it's not a blowout. I just call it anything over 3 possessions is a blowout for me.
Right,
it's double digits is
end of game is not
like it's
close.
Yeah,
there's no fouling. There's no free throw pressure. There's none of that going on. So 60-30, Duke's up currently. You want to lay 41.5 points with Duke?
I don't want to take it. I don't want to take it.
41.5
Yeah.
with Duke. Enjoy that.
Yeah.
Enjoy that number right now. My
Right.
goodness gracious, that's a big number. 20-12, Ole Miss is currently up by North Carolina. Interesting, the total down to 158.5. That was a game I thought would fly over. Not going to happen. I stopped betting totals. I stopped in the conference tournaments. I decided that
it had an interesting ebb and flow yesterday.
Yep.
With
I feel like
a lot of overs early, the unders late. It ended up
neutral,
more unders than overs, 7-9.
The neutral court combined with the referees and foul calls has led me to go, you know what? I'm not good at handicapping a total. I have a better feel for how the game is going to go. So is it going to be tight? Is it going to be a blowout? How is it going to go? Versus trying to figure out how many points is both teams either going to A, give up, or B, score. And so the handicap for me, I'm trying to whittle it down to be what do I feel better about? And whether it's a 55-50 game or it's an 85-80 game, I'm thinking it's a 5-point game.
Okay.
So I have a better way of determining that on a neutral court than I do when I was watching the SEC games, because like every SEC game we saw went over.
Yeah.
And I was thinking going into it that this is going to be a lower scoring, lockdown, defensive type, even Tennessee, you would think.
Yep.
Flying over. So I've just kind of given up with totals for the tournament, saying, you know what, I'm just going to stay away from it. And so far, so good. Just staying away from totals, not having to chase.
It's funny to see it, like, when people come here, they don't normally bet totals, and they're betting all these totals, and they're betting all these things. It's probably better to do that just to, like, take a pass. But I think, and you saw it when we were at the SEC, the in-game stuff has changed the way people operate, just in general.
Right.
And again, I talked about it on the other show this morning with Sammy P and Joe O.
Yeah.
People, like, the first 2 days of March Madness used to be a complete circus and a complete, like, disaster at the window, depositing, setting up accounts, all this other stuff. Since PASPA, this has been, and I talked to a couple of people with different books last night.
Right.
It was way smoother. Like, it's way smooth in here. People know how to use the kiosks. They know how to use the apps on the phone. The deposits are made. So the betting is getting better. Like, and I think you're looking at markets, like, you just sound different making that assessment. Like, I'm good with the totals. Like, I don't need to bet the totals. I'm going to bet the sides. And, I've been with you and seen you do it. Done it with you. Laying 2 and taking 9.
Right.
Like, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think the in-game has an opportunity to make
yesterday
this
I was
just all over, right?
Any game that I thought I mean, look, I probably made 9 pregame bets yesterday, and I made 12 in-game bets.
That's what I mean. That's what happens.
And I started betting back. I was betting San Diego and Michigan like that, betting back and forth, jumping on different numbers. And so, like, I've been telling people on the juice and telling people in the brigade, like, it's just, this is like, if you bet pregame, again, some people don't have the time that you and I do. We're fortunate enough to do what we do, that we're watching a game. We're sitting here watching 4 games in a sports bar. So we're lucky to be able to do that. So that gives us a chance to be on our phones, watching the number, watching the game, going, okay, that number is wrong. I'm going to jump in here because I already have plus 5.5. I'm going to lay 5.5 or whatever you're going to get into. So that's, but like, if you have a chance to do that, this is the time to be betting in game, because the volatility of this stuff
crazy
is high.
And we know they're playing for their life.
Their life.
Every play.
And that's the other reason why I love this tournament, is because someone's season, every game, someone's season's ending. Every single time the ball gets tossed up, one of those 2 teams will have their season be over. They will not put the uniform on again in 24-25. And that finality gives you the confidence to back maximum effort, sacrificing your body, giving everything you have versus an NBA game tonight, where you might get 2 guys that make a business decision about not wanting to play because they just don't want to play. Doug Patton's in the chat saying, Matt, I know you love UConn. Maine versus UConn tonight at the Garden. Go Black Bears laying a goal and a half at plus 220.
Wow.
That must be for the NCAA tournament. That must be right, Doug?
No, I don't think that has started yet. I don't think that. I think
For
they're
hockey?
playing. Yeah, I don't think it has started yet.
That can't be a regular. I mean, they've already done
I don't
the
know.
playoffs. Hockey East already had their final.
Oh, they did?
I thought so.
Maybe this is a regional or something to get in. I don't know. You mean you don't have an opinion tonight on the Sixers and San Antonio Spurs?
Right. Like what?
No.
Like what? Yeah,
No.
No Wembayama, no Fox. What do you do with the Spurs? Like I have no idea.
Wow.
It's the Hockey East, what, semifinal? Quarterfinal?
Without looking.
Yep.
Don't look. What's the line on Charlotte and Oklahoma City?
17.
Charlotte at Oklahoma City. This is officially
17.
the biggest line I've ever seen on an NBA game, pregame in the history of my life.
17 was it?
21.
Oh my God, I was wrong. I thought
It's 21.
that's crazy.
I've never seen
NBA
that.
line is 21.
That's just the guys at the book just saying, "The hell with this. I don't want to take no bets on this. I'm making it 21. I don't care." Yeah.
An NBA line
Yeah.
is 21.
21. All right.
Oh my God.
Everybody wants it. Yeah,
it's the Hockey East championship game.
Oh, look
UConn
at
made
that.
the Hockey East championship
Wow.
game. What planet am I living on? The UConn hockey made the Hockey East
Wow.
championship. Who did you, Doug? Tell me UConn's path. Who did UConn beat to get here? Did they beat like BU and BC both? I know
My
Maine.
gosh, that's an unbelievable run.
Well, I know Maine beat Boston College in overtime. I think I saw that goal last night. It was like a crazy. The forward was going to his right, and he just chucked the puck at the front of the net, and it went ding, 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 and,
Wow.
and it knocked him out. So it was a crazy shot that went in.
Oh.
Yeah, Doug, you had Maine yesterday. Good job on that. It was a crazy shot for Maine last night. They got there. So, but did UConn beat BU? Who beat BU? That's wild.
Yes, yeah.
Well, no, he was talking about the shot
Oh,
that he was
okay.
on. He was just saying yes. I haven't been following Hockey East close enough with this, but that is such a fun. I've gone to that tournament multiple times. That is so fun. If you're a hockey fan, the Hockey East tournament's awesome. I mean, the Bean Pot's awesome. Like that's a ton of fun.
CBW breaking news in the chat. Shefty.
Oh, it's done.
Aaron Rodgers spent about 6 hours at the Steelers training facility
Oh,
today,
no.
meeting with
Left.
their coaches. It was said to be a positive visit, and the two sides will stay in touch.
You're good. Done deal. He ain't going there.
He ain't going there?
They told him what I told you what I thought. They told him the rules. They said, Aaron, if you're coming here, here's what it means.
Wow.
And if Aaron walked out of the building without a deal, nope.
Doesn't he wait? He always waits.
To whom? Wait for who? Who's he waiting for? He needs a job.
He's waiting for Minnesota.
It's the Vikings or the Steelers or the Giants. So, like, who are you waiting for? After the draft?
The Saints?
God, UConn beat BU last night, Doug? Holy what? Sorry, Will.
In
I
hockey?
swore. Yeah, in hockey.
Whoa.
How did that happen? UConn beat BU? I live in a world where UConn beats BU? That's horrible. I can't stand that. That's awful. What is that all about? My God. It's like the year, like who's on UConn's team? It's like the year UMass won the national championship when they had Cale McCarr. They had just had the best player on the planet playing hockey.
Right.
Nobody could beat BU because
No.
their defenseman was the offense and the defense. He just did everything. He was the best player in college hockey by a mile. And UMass won the national championship.
Oh, man. I mean, look at this board tonight with the NBA, guys.
Disgusting.
I mean, that was the NBA portion of the show.
It's disgusting.
That's it. I got nothing else.
No.
8.5, 6.5, 21, 14.5. Okay, Houston at Miami's 5, and I don't know why it should be more, and it's coming down. Good luck. Detroit is 9.5 at Dallas. Boston is 15.5 at Utah.
Wow.
Cleveland is 8.5 at Phoenix. We got Denver and Portland's favored by 2, so obviously Joker's not playing. And then the Clippers are hosting Memphis, and they're going to win that game. They're favored by 7. That's it. That's the NBA portion of the show. Thanks for
McDavid's
watching.
having an MRI today. Oh, boy. That's scary. That's not good.
Winnipeg beat Edmonton last night in Edmonton, 4-3.
That's scary.
Telling you, you don't have to worry about. Not saying you don't have to worry about, but like I would not put Edmonton on the list. They're off my list for the West.
To win
as
the
of
West.
right now. Yeah,
Not just the championship, to win the West.
Yeah, they're off the list. They're off the list.
Oh,
Too many questions about the goaltending for me.
okay.
Still, And if he's dinged up, I mean, you can't get dinged up now. Like, you get dinged up in the playoffs and you keep playing. That's bad news. That's not good at all.
Wow.
What has your focus for the rest of the day with the college hoops? I mean, Norfolk State and Florida's not doing it for me. Oklahoma, Connecticut, obviously tonight. That's the one.
I mean, for me,
Marquette, New Mexico, I think is an engaging game.
It is.
What about, we didn't even mention Xavier in Illinois.
Yeah, because I can't get a read on it because I don't like either team. So I think I lean towards to Xavier to win.
Right.
But I've been off on Illinois for a couple of weeks now. So they played better in the Big Ten tournament than I thought they were going to, and they played better down the stretch. So they had that big swoon about halfway through the season where they couldn't beat anybody.
Yeah.
And it looks like Underwood has gotten the guys back and focused. So my gut tells me to take Illinois, but I can't go against Xavier. And then I got Eli in my head going, he picked them to go to the Final Four. So Eli.
I think they can win tonight.
I think they can too.
I think they can win tonight.
I agree.
I think that game goes over.
I mean, the Oregon Liberty game's got my attention just because it's Dana, and so I want to see what Altman does. And I've got it closes my parlay out with Oregon.
137
Oregon money line. I've seen people think Liberty's going to beat Oregon outright.
That's an under.
I want to be
wow, really?
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't
7-point dog.
I don't see that, but I mean, watch out for Akron against Arizona. You want to talk about upsets? Like that could be a 3-4 game, a 13-4 game. Yeah, Caleb Love can shoot you into a game and out of a game real easy. So
I think they run them out.
And then Maryland coming up at 135. Maryland and Grand Canyon. I'm psyched
Line's coming
that.
down.
Wow.
Steam's coming right now. Look at that board. It's all
Grand
coming
Canyon.
on Grand Canyon.
Wow.
I don't know, boys. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, the morning's gone well for me. I got Baylor right. I got Colorado State right. Ole Miss is down 11 right now. So North Carolina's down 11.
Yeah.
I need them to kick up. I got Vandy and St. Mary's. I need St. Mary's to pick up some pace here. I'll start live betting here in a second. If I can get back to somewhat of a square number, I'll get out of that St. Mary's play and get into the bet on Vanderbilt at some point.
Right.
I still think Carolina's going to come back and win that game, but if we can tie it up, I may take Ole Miss on the other side. And, I like getting out of plays. People call that not gambling and whatnot, but if I have a chance to,
it's the business.
Yeah.
When you have the best of it, you're all in. When you don't, you figure out a way to minimize the loss.
Get out.
That's it. I mean, it just
get out of the bet and then go back to get into something.
I was
else.
doing it the other day. I was on that baseball game.
Right.
I was up early and watched the Dodgers and Cubs game 2.
Right.
And I had under bets that I knew were going to lose.
Right.
So I had under 7.5. I hit the cash out button. I got money back on a bet that was dead before it was dead.
Right.
I saw it was going to be dead. I was like, I'm going to just grab a few bucks here. Hit the cash out button. It was fun.
Yeah. And that's,
that keeps them off the account. Like, what's this guy doing with the cash out button?
right.
Well, listen, $4 is better than 0.
Correct.
So
add
it to the pile.
And I think people are, as we educate, as we get more intelligent about betting and people start to see the gambling world more, I think it's that's why when I hear like 60% of the bets are parlays and I hear, these astronomical numbers that are coming in, like I'm still floored that Kalshi is being as aggressive as they're being.
Well, that was going to be my last part of the story for the day. Like, did you see?
They don't care.
They don't. Alfonso tagged me in a tweet, and I'm going to retweet it later after, got our obligations in with the show and everything. There is just an unbelievable push to just do this now.
50 states. I mean, clearly they've been told by the government that there is not going to be anything to worry about because they are extremely aggressive at the moment. My feed is filled with Kalshi ads.
It's unreal.
And I'm seeing it on LinkedIn. I'm seeing it on Instagram. I'm seeing it on Twitter. I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing where they're just out there spending money on digital, where if you have an interest in sports gambling, you're going to see these ads. And it's 50 states, every game up. Like not even trying to hide what they're doing.
No.
So I don't know what to make of it. I don't know which attorney general for which state, but I'm guessing it's going to be Nevada because they've already sent them the cease and desist and they don't care. So they're literally saying, we don't care. We're marketing into Nevada. go ahead and sue us, do whatever you got to do, but we're not worried about anything that Nevada's going to do to us.
It's I just saw Chicago Kristen mention that her and Chicago John are out watching us. Hello to both of you, and thank you for watching the show wherever you're at. But there's a part of that law that really is going to get explored very, very.
By who? The AGs or by Calcium?
I think somebody's going to go, wait a second, hold on here. Let's really read this and learn this. Are they able to do what they're doing? Because they're doing it. Literally just, they basically started a sports book. Called it a prediction market. And
but the federal government is clearly stating that they're not going to police this. So it's going to be up to the states.
Or whatever
that thing is. The states themselves are going to have to protect the companies that have paid the fees and the licensing to be operating in the state.
Can't believe it.
So in Nevada, we have the most aggressive of all, and the gaming world's going to protect the gaming world here. They're going to go to they're going to go to the AG. They're going to go to their bosses, and they're going to say, "Hold on a second. If Kalshi reports any handle, and I mean like any handle in the state of Nevada, that's when it gets them in trouble. As long as they're kind of like no one thinks they're being used by anybody here in town, no one's going to care. But if they do anything of a 5-figure number, it's on. It's on. Like if they're pulling $50,000 in handle, I believe that Nevada will go after them with both barrels and stop them from operating here in the state. I don't know what power they have to do so.
I don't know either. That I think
geo-target them out.
I don't know. So there's so many things, and now I'm thinking like I did when I was in Curacao. Like how are they going to get to us? What are they going to do? So now it becomes that game as much as what product you're offering. But I mean, they're already in all these places.
Nobody physically here.
I know.
I know. The weird thing is that no one physically is here to arrest. It's not like you're operating a storefront on the strip.
Yeah.
It's an app on people's phones.
Right.
So, guys, listen, thank you for watching on the replay, listening on SiriusXM on Sports Grid Television. We appreciate it. We'll do a quick little bonus time on the other side as we wrap up here from Resorts World and our really fun 2-day extravaganza here for the NCAA tournament. Thanks to Red Tail Lounge. On the replay, have a great weekend. Thank you so much. For the rest of you guys, bonus time hits you right now. Okay, 35-19. Carolina's getting smacked. Wow. So that Carolina, I bet, 35-21 now.
Now they're done. Now they don't belong. The SEC is back. It just means more.
I really thought they'd make a run. I really thought that Carolina would show up today and make a run. Good win for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
If that's what happens, big win. Vandy's up by 7.
Ole Miss, Iowa State is going to be next. Wow.
Good game.
That's a monster
But
game.
how healthy is Iowa State will be the question, because obviously that game will be
second round is going to be just electric.
Yeah.
Saturday's great.
Sunday will be good.
Sunday's going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple games tonight are going to be good. Man, oh man. Guys, thank you for voting for me for that poll. That's going to be, I can't wait to text Benson. I'm going to walk over and just say hello to him. Say, hey, Jeffrey, how are you?
Wow. So, according to Evan Abrams of the Action Network, the last 20 years, we've had 3 5 seeds close as underdogs versus 12 seeds. They're now 0-3 straight up, 0-3 ATS. So there you go. When the books are putting the 12 seed as the favorite,
money.
It's a good play to bet.
Money.
So going forward.
Yep.
Nice win for Colorado State. We'll text Ali Farouk Manesh and congratulate him on that W.
We'll wait until he gets the next one.
Oh, the next one, if he gets the next one, I'm going to be mad. I think they lose the next one, but if he gets it, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to hedge off of it. So I'm going to be like, damn, I want to guarantee myself profit on that, so I'm going to hedge off of that. But it's a nice win for Colorado State to go ahead and get this. Okay, first number 1 seed to lose is who? And does it happen this weekend?
No. They all win.
I'm saying yes.
You think it's Auburn?
Creighton beats Auburn.
Beats Auburn. No, I think they all get through.
Creighton beats Auburn tomorrow.
That's the one, though, right?
The world. Yeah, Auburn's the one you got to worry about.
Houston would get the Zags.
Yeah, Houston
gets the Zags.
That's the math geek game.
Right.
Because everyone says take Gonzaga.
Yep.
Because we've never seen an 8 seed be a top 20 KenPom team. Like 8 seeds aren't in the top 20 for KenPom. Gonzaga is. So, like, the number geeks are going to have their moment here with that game about potentially being able to, shock the world. And if Gonzaga beats Houston, it's not that big of a shock. Mark Few is, it's unbelievable.
Right.
Him in the tournament. Mark Few is a god. Like, legitimately a god. So, I don't know.
Let's tie up this. And again, the road shows have been awesome. We've been back-to-back weeks road shows. You a home game guy or a road game guy for the shows? For us.
I'm confused. What do you mean?
We have a home show
this
week. We had a road show on the road last week. I am 100% one way on this.
Do I like being out?
Which one would you prefer? Like, if you had
every single. Are we talking about every day? We're talking about.
Well,
I'm doing it. I've done both.
There's a lot to be said for playing well on the road. I'm a road guy.
I prefer to be.
I'm a road guy,
but not every day.
That's fine.
Like if we did this once a month, and we were out once a month, I would love this to be once a month.
Okay.
I would love to walk into a studio that's already put together.
Yeah.
We just sit down and go.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I had before.
Right.
But in terms of going out and being out, like going to Red Tail, being at in Kentucky, when and if we ever get to the East Coast, it's ridiculous. We're 3 years into this show and we get to do an East Coast show.
Right.
So like we've done West Coast shows like crazy. We've done shows
Midwest,
Mid-South. We've done the only time zone we haven't done a show from now is the Eastern time zone. We've done Mountain Time, we've done West Coast time, and we've done
together.
Central,
I was in the East Coast
Central
time zone, and you've been in the East Coast time zone, but we've been separate.
Yeah, like a full show becomes seamless. Like me in New Hampshire is not the same. Like
right.
It's a home studio. It happens to be in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
You were in a home. You were in a hotel room. But you were in Florida.
Yeah.
But we weren't out. Nobody can find you and see you. I'm talking about like this type of setup. We're out.
Right.
I love this. I love going out. I love seeing guys like Francisco and Larry and people to come through and be a part of it. I love this. And it's a chance. I love highlighting businesses. I love highlighting, one, Resorts World. Guys, if you support the show and you have a choice as to where to stay, we always say this is how you support us, is by coming in and telling Resorts World that you're only here because you watch BVB.
Yeah.
Or come to Red Tail and say, hey, Matt and Dave told me this is a cool place to watch a game. I'm going to hang out. Tell them that we sent you. Either now, later, a month from now, whatever it might be, when you're in town.
The best bet is the social media, because if you show up at the desk and tell them, they're going to be like, who's Matt and Dave?
Fine. Tag them, take a picture, tag them. Yeah. Come over to Red Tail, take a picture of yourself, and you can have events here.
Right.
You can have your fantasy football draft. They got private rooms here at Red Tail.
Oh, those private rooms are
really cool areas.
Really cool.
So you can watch games here, too. If you want to watch a Super Bowl or you want to watch a baseball playoff game or whatever it might be, you can rent out these areas here to be a part of it. So
there's just a lot of things going on at the house that aren't going on in my hotel room, like in Franklin, Kentucky.
Right.
Absolutely. Woke up this morning, the dog hadn't been let out, and there's a lot of things, and it's like, wait a second, I gotta go.
Right.
Like I gotta go.
You're just focusing on the show.
Right.
Ali, look at Ali. Look at Ali already on Twitter tweeting it out.
Look at that.
Good job, Ali.
Atta boy.
Farouk Manesh already going there.
Bam.
Grit, together, and toughness. They got it done. Very, very cool. That's awesome. So, as we close it up, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you to Red Tail. Thank you to Resorts World. For us, if you're in town, come on by. We're going to be here for a while, packing things up and hanging out, watching some hoops. Francisco, we're going to hang out with you and do some cool things. For you guys in the brigade, have a phenomenal weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Back for a normal week for us for BVB. Dave, Matt, Monday. Talk to you then, brigade.